All right, third grade. Last week you focused on strategies for solving multiplication. So you can use arrays, equal groups, which is my favorite, skip counting, or repeated addition. And last week we just gave you straight multiplication problems. So 6 times 4, 3 times 5. But now it's going to get harder. In third grade, almost all of the problems you'll see at the end of the year will be in a word problem. And I know you've had experience with word problems in second grade, so I want to talk about a strategy you're going to use in third grade, and I hope you used it last year. So, how many of you have heard of read a little, do a little? I hope all of you are raising your hands right now. This is the strategy we're going to use this year, and your teachers are going to say over and over and over again, read a little, then do a little. So this is what you do when you need to read a little, then do a little. Step 1, read the entire problem and the answer choices, but don't do any math. As you read, I want you to underline important information to keep in your brain. Don't worry, we'll practice in a minute. Then after you read the whole problem, and as you read, you're using your pencil to underline important information, you're not going to do any math, you go back to the first part of the problem. Read to the first period or a comma and stop. See the stop sign? Stop. Think about what do you know is happening in the problem, and now we're going to put something on our paper. Then you're going to read to the next period, stop, write down, do some work on your board or paper. Then you're going to read to the next period, stop. You get the idea. The last step is, does your answer make sense? It's always important to check your work to make sure you solve the problem the right way. So let's try our first problem. I'm going to read it out loud. As I read, make sure you follow along on the screen. Leon has 3 shirts with 5 buttons each and has 2 jackets with 6 buttons each. Which expression shows the number of buttons on all the shirts? Now, as I read, I should have underlined important information because that's a lot of words. So I'm going to go back and do it again, and hopefully I'll be able to underline. Leon has 3 shirts. Well, if they give me a number and this is math, that's probably important. But I can't just underline the number 3 because that doesn't mean anything. 3 shirts, and I'm going to keep going with 5 buttons. So that's important. I know in my head now, this boy Leon has 3 shirts and 5 buttons each. Stop. This is a huge multiplication word. Anytime you see this word each, I need you to box it or circle it. It is a good clue that you're going to either be multiplying or dividing. Always box that word each. There we go. Now I can keep going. I'm not writing down any work and doing anything yet. Leon has 3 shirts with 5 buttons each and, that's a good sign. Or adding, he's got some more things. Has 2 jackets with 6 buttons each. All of that is important information. Notice how I do not just underline the number. I get the word that comes after it. We call that a label. So I know what the number goes with. Which expression, this is a big math word that just means a number sentence, shows the number of buttons, okay? So this is why words are important. I'm looking for buttons on all the shirts. In this problem, it talked about shirts and jackets. And I have all these numbers and my brain was going crazy. But now I know in the question, it only talks about the shirts. So guess what? I can go back and mark out 2 jackets with 6 buttons each. The question didn't ask me anything about the jackets. Now that I've read it through, underline important information, I'm ready to start back at the beginning and show my work. So I'm going to read to the first sentence or comma. Leon has 3 shirts with 5 buttons each. And I don't need to worry about the rest because we're not focusing on jackets. So he's got 3 shirts with 5 buttons each. Well, I know each is going to mean to multiply because all of the shirts have the same number of buttons on each. So this is going to be a multiplication problem. That's it. Now I just need to solve it. So I'm going to do equal groups because I like that best. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can count by 5s. 5, 10, 15. 15. Now the problem did not ask for an answer, but I always like to answer the question just to make sure I'm doing it right. So now when I look at my answer choices, I can see that B has the same equation I did. So B is going to be my answer. So I'm going to circle it, maybe. There we go. It's a good thing I read the problem all the way through first and didn't start doing math because I would have been doing too much if I would have just looked at the numbers. So make sure you read a little, then do a little. Oh, that was, I don't really like that.